Hey, this is Louis Venners, the Shredded Scholar. I'm here on Highway 76, East Palmetto Street in Florence, South Carolina. There's a lot of traffic this morning, so I'll try and speak clearly. I'm taking some time out before I go to the gym to visit the site of the former Palmetto Inn, a motel that was an important landmark here in East Florence, in one of the principal entryways into the city. And this building is being demolished. The work is going on right now, and I wanted to be sure to catch it before it's all gone. It's a really important neighborhood. East Florence, by the early 1970s, was one of the principal African-American neighborhoods in Florence, with a mixed economic base. The 1970s really changed this neighborhood. The interstate was built out, and so Highway 76 became less of an important thoroughfare, and a hospital bought out and bulldozed a lot of the residences in the neighborhood to make way for its medical mile. I have some thoughts and feelings about that, but that's a different video. And so this motel fell on some hard times, and it is an important opportunity for me to be able to speak about a concept in historic preservation that we call demolition by neglect. So the last for as long as I have known it, the space was vacant, not used as a motel. But interestingly, the community, folks in the neighborhood, have sought different ways to use it. One is with graffiti art. And you can see one example that's still with us on this brick wall behind me. This is kind of an angel after my own heart. He's pretty shredded. And there's one of the pieces of equipment. And we'll just walk a little bit, and I'll show you some more about this site. This was great 1960s architecture. The central office is gone now. It was round and a lot of glass, with a colorful metal roof that looked like it was straight out of the Jetsons. Here's some more murals. That was a former city councilman from this area, and some other art. If we keep going here, it looks like they're being good enough to separate out some of the metal and the brick and the block. I hope that's for recycling purposes. And you can see the round pad, the circular foundation where the office was. There was a kind of a paisley shaped pool in the back. This was great mid-century modern architecture that a lot of folk in the community wanted to keep, wanted to put to good use. There was talk that I heard about in the midst of this housing crisis that we have in Florence and in so many communities around the country. Let's use this for transitional housing, or housing for the homeless. And in fact, there were some of our unhoused neighbors who just took matters into their own hands and did spend some time in the rooms, even though technically they weren't supposed to. So you can see behind me, I hope, some of the wings of rooms that are still there and haven't been taken out yet. And maybe you can tell the balconies have this great balustrade that's got these kind of oval shaped I don't know exactly how to describe that. And it great 1960s aesthetic, and it's all going to be gone. There's the site is going to be cleaned up, and a park nearby is going to be expanded, and there's going to be some more work on freshening up this entrance to the city. And don't get me wrong, I have nothing against parks. I have nothing against cities and towns constantly making and remaking themselves. That's what we do, right? The question is, how do we do so? does our making and remaking our cities and towns, does it serve all of the community? And the concept that I wanted to just share is demolition by neglect. What that means, for historic preservationists is letting buildings that could be serving the community fall into such disrepair over years, letting the elements do their work, and finally getting to the point where there's nothing we can do except tear it down. Well, maybe not, but certainly what we should have done is take care of this building, keep this building up, put time and intention into our environment, our built environment, over, in this case, the past 20, 30 years, so that we didn't get to this point, so that this landmark could be preserved in a cost-effective way. Don't let demolition by neglect happen in your community. We need individuals and local institutions and the community as a whole to take their proper role. Property owners need to be responsible stewards of our built environment. Certainly local governments can be proactive, and don't take this to me. Mayor Teresa knows I love her. The city council knows I love it. This is not a criticism of what has happened to this property in particular, but what we do see in Florence and in so many communities around the United States is a lack of intention, a lack of foresight, and situations like this end up happening all too frequently. We don't have the luxury of tearing down solid buildings, throwing them away, and starting over. Even if we don't particularly care about our history and the stories that such places hold for communities, which I do and which a lot of people do, from a sustainability and environmental perspective alone, from a cost basis alone, we can't just tear down and start over. That aspect of our consumer throwaway society needs to change, and it needs to change with our intention, with putting measures into place primarily at the local level to prevent this from happening, and in order to keep buildings that are already in our environment, to keep them useful, to keep them contributing. This has gone on a little longer than I thought. This is Mahatma Gandhi behind me. This is George Floyd next to him. And you probably can't see it, but there's a passage that's next to George Floyd's face that is attributed to Angela Davis, and it says, "We must no longer continue to accept the things that we cannot change. We must change the things that we cannot accept." And I have to say I agree with Professor Davis on this point in a number of ways, but certainly in terms of demolition by neglect, we need to make a change, and we need to make changes wherever we live. Everybody can have a part to play in making our built environment beautiful, useful, and equitable, using our buildings, our infrastructure to serve the whole community. So that's it for me for now, saying goodbye to the Palmetto Inn. It's kind of a sad video. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope that you take this information and put it to work wherever you are, in whatever way your circumstances allow. This is the Shredded Scholar signing off for healthy bodies, tender hearts, open eyes, open minds. Catch y'all later.